secure, contain, protect. These three words aren't just something I came up with, they are the foundation of the SCP Foundation, a foundation dedicated to securing locations, containing anomalies denominated as SCPs, and protecting your goofy ass from them. For years now, all the documents and information regarding SCPs have been stored on the SCP Foundation Wiki, where you can go and see for yourself what each of these entities is capable of. They range from small harmless objects to creatures that could make you shit yourself just from looking at them. And with so many interesting SCPs on this wiki with cool concept designs and lore, it was only a matter of time until SCP would become mainstream and a phenomenon in the horror genre. As its popularity grew, more and more fan content was created, animations, artworks, but the most prominent ones were SCP video games. These games initially were able to capture the essence and horror potential that the SCP universe has, but as time went on, they slowly started losing their quality and became boring, uninteresting, and most importantly, not scary at all. But what caused this? How did we go from such great games to games that are obsolete and, well, shit? This is the downfall of SCP video games. Unlike big franchises like Plants vs. Zombies and Angry Birds, whose downfall is directly tied to the greediness of the corporations that took them over, the SCP Foundation was never turned into a corporate IP, and since the very beginning it has belonged to the whole internet, being a public domain. The Foundation was initially created by a handful of users on 4chan in 2007. As it got more popular, more and more people started adding to its history. The SCP Foundation was sort of like an open source repository in which people just kept adding more and more information to its universe. This means that anyone can use, modify, and even sell SCP content as long as they credit the original creators. That's why all of the SCP games like SCP Containment Breach and SCP Secret Laboratory aren't made by any official gaming studio, but instead by a few fans of SCP. In my opinion, this is a good thing, because it leaves no space for the kind of greediness that can ultimately ruin franchises like the ones I mentioned before. Franchises that, even though they started small, eventually got bought and milked by big soulless corporations that just want you to sell your f***ing soul so you can upgrade your pea shooter to level 5. SCP games were initially made by people who actually prioritized the fun of other fans rather than their wallets. That's why most of these games are good and enjoyable to play. The very first SCP game that really got popular was SCP-087, and as the name suggests, it's about SCP-087. A seemingly infinite concrete staircase with no light source, where some freaky face, also known as SCP-087-1, follows anyone who dares to enter. In the game you play as someone going down these stairs trying to reach the bottom. And yeah, that's basically it. The game isn't exactly super fun to play, as it's basically 20 minutes of walking downstairs until you get jump scared. But the game was definitely able to create a feeling of uneasiness for the player. That feeling that, at any moment, while you are going down the stairs, something could come out of the shadows and get you. The game, although simple, showcased the clear potential SCP had in horror gaming, and only a few months after the release of SCP-087, a masterpiece was created. SCP Containment Breach. In this game you play as a Class D personnel who needs to escape the facility after several SCPs escape containment, which basically causes the entire place to go to shit. During your playthrough, you will encounter some of the most notable SCPs like 106, 049, and 173 roaming around the facility and chasing you down until they completely obliterate your ass cheeks. The game also features a huge list of notable SCPs, ranging from safe class anomalies all the way up to Catter, and every single one of them has different interactions with the player. Even SCPs that don't have any importance to the main plot have specific programmed interactions in case the player gets curious enough to seek them. All around the facility there are documents explaining the lore and gimmicks of each SCP, making the game able to explain the rules to the player while staying loyal to the original SCP concept. Overall, the game is just that good, and I could keep talking about how great it is, but it would be better if you actually go ahead and play it. And speaking of that, do you know how much this game costs? $3.99. Yes, your broke ass can literally go to the game's website and download and play it right now. After watching this video, of course. Obviously, not everything about the game is perfect though. It kinda struggles to run on my laptop even though I have a RTX 3070 and the game is also kinda short. Matter of fact, as a new player, even not knowing what the fuck you're doing and dying quite a lot, you will probably beat the game in 2 to 3 hours max. But these small imperfections don't destroy the player's experience at all, and Containment Breach remains the best example of what can come out of the SCP community when there's enough passion in the making of a game.
Alright lil bro, stop the glazing, we already got the point. If greediness and money weren't what led to the downfall of the SCP games, then what was it?
That's a really great question, lil Timmy, which I will get there when you fuck off. Over the following years, more SCP games would be released, but the next big hit would definitely be SCP Secret Laboratory in 2017. What made this game so special was that, in addition to the horror elements that Containment Breach had, it introduced a new PvP mechanic where several players had different roles, and depending on those roles, they had different objectives to win. As a D-class personnel, you have to escape the facility or commit war crimes against scientists and vice versa. As a security guard, you have to arrest D-classes and escort scientists. As an MTF, you have to eliminate all threats inside the facility, including D-classes. As a Chaos Insurgency, you help the D-classes escape the facility, and as an SCP, you basically just have to kill everyone. That is unless you are a zombie from Plague Doctor, in which case your objective is to throw yourself off a ledge and die. The game takes clear inspiration from Containment Breach. The way you navigate the facility with keycards, the different SCP objects you can encounter, and even the playable SCPs are all heavily inspired by the original game, which, just to be clear, is a good thing. Taking inspiration from Containment Breach helped Secret Lab keep that classic SCP feeling. It didn't try to reinvent the wheel, it just took what already worked and made it multiplayer, more chaotic and more fun. Your experience in this game, however, is highly dependent on the server you play on. On the official Secret Lab servers, there isn't much moderation, which means there are constantly at least 5 Russian dudes yelling into their mics and a random dude saying slurs. On the other hand, most community servers suffer from too much moderation and sometimes even admin abuse. If you join one, prepare for an admin to teleport you into a room and yell at you for 15 minutes because you didn't respect one of the 200 billion rules of that specific server.
Oh, you killed the D-class as a facility guard instead of arresting him? Yeah bro, that's actually against the rules, and now I have to dox you and kill your whole family.
And keep in mind that every non-official server has its own rules, so combined with the game mechanics, which aren't simple to learn, and a map that is randomly generated each round, it's easy for a new player to get overwhelmed and have a negative experience. Although this isn't really the game's fault and more the fault of the community surrounding it. But even with these downsides, the fact that SCP Secret Lab is a great game still stands true. The year is now 2018, and the SCP Foundation has completely exploded in popularity, all because YouTube started recommending SCP videos left and right to millions of users. Suddenly, everyone was watching videos about a creepy tall white dude that would run after you if you looked at his ugly ass face. As with every horror-adjacent fandom, SCP quickly attracted a huge number of young fans, which caused the community to grow at an insane rate. Of course, this popularity increase didn't go unnoticed by people who were just looking to make a quick buck. Since SCP's license allows anyone to make a game and profit from it, many developers saw the massive popularity and wanted a piece of the cake. The result was an explosion of SCP games being released, but with a significantly lower quality than older titles. Instead of passion projects made by fans, or sometimes just one single individual, the market became flooded with rushed, low-effort titles that existed purely to cash in on the trend. So while SCP was becoming bigger than ever, the average quality of SCP games was steadily going downhill. These became significantly noticeable when a shit ton of low-quality SCP mobile games started launching on the Google Play Store. As you know, Google Play isn't exactly well known for having good games. Matter of fact, it's known for quite the opposite, being generally filled with two types of games that have some sort of success but are full of microtransactions, and games that are overall shit and find no sort of success whatsoever. SCP mobile games are usually the second type, as many of them don't even capture the essence that the SCP universe has and only have SCP in the name to make babies download the game to then expose them to 20 ads. The first time I typed SCP into the Google Play Store search bar, the first two games that popped up actually had pretty decent ratings and a huge number of downloads. And considering the amount of user ratings they had, it would be pretty hard to forge those numbers, which surprised me. I have never heard about good SCP mobile games, and even though I never looked for them because I don't play games on my phone, I was pretty sure they were mostly bad, just like 99% of the games on the Play Store. This kinda got my hopes high, but as I clicked to see the images of each game, I noticed that they are literally Containment Breach and Secret Lab, but made for mobile. And while I think it's pretty impressive that someone was able to take the two best SCP games out there and transform them into mobile versions, counting these two games as mobile games would be pretty unfair, because at most they are just portable versions of two already existing SCP games. So I decided to ignore them and look for some other SCP mobile games, and oh boy, I was right. Almost all of them are complete garbage. I just downloaded 3 of them and all of them were barely functional. The first one I played was called SCP-096 Haunted House. As soon as I clicked to open the game, I was met with an ad. God, I fucking hate mobile games. After skipping the ad, I am met with the most lifeless main menu I have seen in a while. It doesn't even have music. As I click play, I am met with another fucking ad. After skipping the second ad, I am finally able to play the game, and oh my god, this is literally just Granny. You basically wander around the house looking for pages and items that you then use to open rooms to collect more pages and more items. The only actual difference from Granny is that instead of being chased by an elderly woman, you are being chased by SCP-096. And you might as well just get the actual Granny, because 096 doesn't do jack shit in this game other than following you around the house. In the actual SCP universe, 096, also known as Shy Guy, follows you around until he kills you when you see his face. In this game, however, you can be looking directly at his face and he will just keep walking while looking like he's about to shit himself. So if he literally doesn't do the only thing he's supposed to do, why even bother putting him in this game? The only thing I found interesting about this game is that there are some pills you can take that make you momentarily see what Shy Guy is seeing, and it was through this mechanic that I discovered that my player model doesn't have a head. Wait, if he doesn't have a head, that means we are technically not looking at 096, which means it actually makes sense that he doesn't run after you. Oh my god, the dev is actually a genius. So yeah, there's not a single redeemable thing in this game, even the jump scare is shit. Oh, and you also get an ad after you die. I also plan to talk about the other 2 mobile SCP games I played, but to be honest, they are also terrible and really boring. But hey, what about the SCP games released on Steam? They are also garbage, but with the difference that now you have to pay for some of them, which I'm obviously not going to do. Don't get me wrong, there are some games that are redeemable, but for the most part they are pretty bad. The typical type of game that just looks like someone grabbed a bunch of assets from the Unity store and mashed them together into a single project. Some of them could have been actually great games if they were finished. For example, SCP Unity, a game that genuinely looked like it was going somewhere. Unfortunately, its development was cancelled due to health issues affecting the lead developer. You can still play it, but there's no real main objective, and as far as I know there are only 2 actual threats in the facility, 173 and 106. So apart from the games I already mentioned and one game that looked really cool but I didn't play because it's paid, the rest are either just bad or unfinished. But why? Why did the quality of SCP games decline over time? Well, I don't know. Anyways, I love you, bye.